It's a big burden right now because, having to work and finish up therapy.
A battle with cancer, and now a battle to afford rent.
It's hard for people that don't make as much money to find places to rent that are, reasonable.
This Denver man is told he has 30 days to get out. He, like so many Coloradans, are being forced to uproot their lives as landlords look to cash in.
We are looking so forward to possibly getting a home.
And for this Greeley family, they too are out of a home, but your donations are making things a little brighter.
People have come through for us and were able to give to us.
Plus, about a third of Colorado COVID outbreaks are in schools. Will school districts be next to require proof of vaccination? DPS makes a decision. Even through a pandemic, the Denver metro housing market stayed red hot, and it doesn't look like it is cooling down anytime soon.
Inventory is still low, demand still high, so prices are rising at an unprecedented rate. The average price, listen to this, of a single-family detached home was just under $700,000 in April. That's a $150,000 increase over a year ago.
And now landlords are eager to cash in. Many who own multi-family apartment buildings, for example, are converting them into condos and selling them. And for many Colorado renters, that is forcing them out of their homes.
Well, Denver7's Lance Hernandez spoke with one tenant who lives in a quadplex at 13th and Madison in Denver, who's now figuring out where to go next.
That affects me than having to find a place on such short notice.
Rob Munson finding this note on his front door Sunday, stating his apartment building has been sold and his month-to-month lease terminates May 31st.
They're going to divide it up into condominiums.
The 53-year-old who helped landscape the grounds, now getting ready to pack up his entire train collection.
There's a part of the Rio Grande Zephyr train there.
And scale model electrified city in preparation for the move. The big challenge, he's still undergoing chemo for cancer, still working 50 hours a week, and now trying to line up help moving to a new apartment he was lucky enough to find in Cap Hill. It'll be much more expensive.
But I'll be paying 40% more for a one-bedroom compared to a two-bedroom.
He's currently paying just under $1,000 a month for 2 bedrooms.
A big jump in rent.
I understand why it is a lucrative investment for an owner to take a multifamily and split it into single condos.
Jim Shantz of PMI Elevation, a property management company, says there's a housing shortage in Denver. Home prices are skyrocketing, so many people are investing in real estate.
I'm personally losing about 15% of the properties I manage to home sales because the market is so good for them.
He says for many rental property owners, it's not a hard decision.
And when they see the price and that they can get the highest sales price that the neighborhood's ever seen, it's very difficult for them to pass on that. You could have a couple extra $100 a month or a couple extra $100,000, and they make that decision.
Munson's new landlord says they're doing everything by the book and are happy to work with him on a move-out date. He says he'll even sell the condo to him if he's qualified. Munson just trying to summon the strength to get everything together for the big move.
That is one thing you can't get past.
Lance Hernandez.
Fatigue brought on by just therapy and working and then having to do other work now.
Denver7.
We've created an easy way for you to help Rob with his last-minute move. Head over to thedenverchannel.com under the Denver7 Gives tab. Select Help Rob with Move to make your tax-deductible donation.
And Rob isn't alone. In a different city, a different family, and the story is the same.
On Friday, we introduced you to this Greeley family who was told they had days to move out because the home they lived in for years was going to be sold. Well, now the mother, the father, and 3 daughters are living in a hotel room indefinitely.
And as Denver7 CB Cotton reports, you, our generous viewers, have stepped up to help.
Heading into the store with a short list of needs. It was your dollars that helped buy clothes for not one daughter, but 3 of them. And also a mother.
This is pretty.
But that's not all.
Here they are.
Denver7 viewers also helped buy gift cards for food.
Let's get this.
And 2 Visa cards.
$200 Visa, and then maybe $500 on this one? Okay.
That way you can get them more clothes. Give them that for clothes, give them that for food.
And after checkout,
Awesome. Thank you so much. Wow.
We met up with this Greeley family.
A Rangel Rogers family.
Last Friday, we told you about them as they had only days to move out of the home they'd been living in for 4 years. They tried to purchase the home, but weren't able to get things in order on time.
My thoughts are just that the owner can't wait to sell this home. He can't wait for us to get approved for the loan.
So Antonio and his 3 daughters packed up their belongings while all battling COVID-19, and while his wife Regina was in the hospital with a serious case of the disease.
My wife is in a negative pressure room at the medical center of the Rockies in Loveland.
Now, Regina's back home, and Weld County Social Services has placed the family in a hotel. And you, our generous viewers, have placed necessities back in their lives.
Rangel Rogers family, we want to present you all with some of these items that we bought. This is for $500. It's a visa.
How many people have come through for us and were able to give to us. We are so grateful, so thankful.
Social Services will keep Rogers and his family at various hotels in the area while they try to get back on their feet. Their biggest dream, finding a home they can afford.
We are looking so forward to possibly getting a home. We just don't know when. We don't know when it's going to happen, but it would be absolutely amazing if we could find a home soon.
For now, you, our viewers, helped fill a short list of needs, and that provided for this family's greatest need, knowing they weren't alone.
We want to say thank you for being a friend to my family and for loving us too, because we thought we were alone and we found out different. We're not alone.
In Greeley, I'm CB Cotton, Denver7.
Such kindness out there. And we wanted to dig a little deeper into your rights as a renter should the apartment or home you're renting goes up for sale. Well, we spoke to local attorney John Goodman. He says, bottom line, renters have the leverage and don't have to move until their lease is up.
The lease does not terminate because the seller sells the property. The lease runs with the land, is the way the law says it, the way lawyers say it. And if the buyer, for example, wants the tenant out of the property, somebody has to dangle money or other inducements to induce the tenant to get out of the property.
Okay, there is a cautionary tale here as well. All that applies only if you have months or even years left on your lease. Tenants who are renting month to month don't have the same leverage.
Since the start of the pandemic, the city of Denver says it has seen a 60% increase in people needing shelter. And today, Mayor Michael Hancock called on the federal government to approve a request for $2 million. So the city wants to buy that 95-room hotel to house the homeless. The entire cost to purchase the Stay Inn, this is near I-70 in Peoria, it's about $8 million. The Denver leader said it would start as a shelter and then transition into supportive housing.
The CDC is now saying if the U.S. continues vaccinating, masking, and social distancing, we could see a sharp decline in COVID cases by July. Coronavirus cases are at a 7-month low, and nearly 45% of the total U.S. population has received at least one dose of the vaccine. Now, here in Colorado, more than 2 million Coloradans are now fully vaccinated. And while, of course, that's great news, today we also confirmed a handful of cases of the India variant here in Colorado. Those cases are in Mesa County. None of the people who tested positive for that variant traveled. So how it got to Colorado, well, that is now under investigation. And keep in mind, the UK variant is still believed to be the dominant strain in Colorado right now.
We're also keeping an eye on the rise in COVID cases in children. About a quarter of new cases now in Colorado are among children, and 30% of active outbreaks in the state are in elementary, middle, and high schools. And parents are encouraged to get their kids vaccinated just as soon as it becomes available to them. But a Kaiser Family Foundation report found that only a third of parents surveyed said they would let their child get a vaccine right away. Health experts say hesitancy and questions are certainly normal, but it's important to get accurate information.
A lot of times in kids, the infection may be not as severe, but if we're talking about then spread to people who are more vulnerable, we have to make sure that we're vaccinating everyone in our communities, and they're very much a part of that.
Especially with summer camps and family vacations coming up, health experts say the only way to stop the spread of this virus is to get vaccinated. And promising results released today from Moderna in its trial to test vaccine efficacy in adolescents. So phase 2 now, the vaccine was 96% effective in those between 12 and 17 years old. The vaccine is 94% effective in adults. Moderna also says the vaccine was generally well tolerated and no serious safety concerns have been identified.
And Pfizer could receive federal authorization to vaccinate kids 12 to 15 years old by early next week, setting up shots before the beginning of next school year. Today, Denver public school leaders said at this point they don't think they will require students and staff to be vaccinated to return this fall. Of course, that could change. For now, though, the district says he will host vaccination clinics at 10 schools next month to get more students access to the vaccine. And DPS will still offer a remote learning option for families this fall. You can register for that option starting May 10th.
New tonight at 10, we are hearing from Suzanne Morphew's sister, one day after Suzanne's husband, Barry, was arrested and charged with murder. Linda Mormon lives in Tennessee, and just in the last few hours, she sat down with ABC News saying Barry Morphew isn't the type of guy who likes to lose his freedom. But she says he now has time to think, and she's hoping he confesses.
So Barry Morphew has the full weight of the authorities and the law coming against him. And if he has any kind of sense at all, and he loves his girls at all, I hope he'll do the right thing and confess and save us all more heartache, and himself included and his own family included.
Mormon also thanked the district attorney and all the investigators for working her sister's case. And you can hear a lot more from Suzanne's sister tomorrow morning on Good Morning America right here on Denver 7.
It was hard. I mean, nobody wants to ever get that call.
A heartbroken widow speaking out just days after her husband's kayak capsized in Cherry Creek Reservoir. Tonight, she's sharing a powerful message.
If you love someone, let them know. Spend as much time as you can with them.
It was beautiful today, even better tomorrow, but this cold front means rain and snow coming our way.
It's the heart of 5 Points, and the community continues to rally behind the Welton Street Cafe to help keep its doors open.
How can you have Welton Street with no black restaurant? That doesn't make sense.
Tonight, a familiar face doing his part to make sure this staple stays put. And you can too.
It's an icon to the community and to Denver.